The first time, before Melbourne, I used the knife almost thoughtlessly. I did not sit down and decide consciously to cut myself. It was almost as if, instead, I slipped into a trance. I held the Swiss Army knife in my right hand, feeling the solid weight, as if it promised something beyond the empty ache inside me. The shiny blade drew a faint line on the pale skin of my left arm. It didn't hurt, as I'd yet to add any pressure. The slight indentation was at least 3 inches above my wrist. I had no wish to cause myself lasting damage, and there was no thought of me using the knife to open up the blue veins on my wrists. I did not want to kill myself, I just wanted to feel something different. Pressing down harder, I had a sudden urge to make myself bleed. The cut, when it came, did not really hurt. It was a sharp and clean sensation. It's not really what you expect to hear from a sporting autobiography. However, that's 2 chapters in to Victoria Pendleton's Between the Lines. Victoria Pendleton was British cycling's poster girl for many years until her retirement in 2012 after the London Summer Olympics. Between the Lines was her autobiography released just after the Games. Inspiring and heartbreaking in equal measure, Victoria Pendleton opens up to Donald McRae about her difficult relationships with her father, her coaches and herself as she tries to compete in the high-pressure environment of the recently lottery-funded British cycling track programme. I've read this book 3 or 4 times now, including a first-time read-through which I did in 2 sittings. The visceral nature and anguish and demons that Pendleton was struggling to comprehend, contain and conquer is still shocking to me every time I pick this book up. On the other hand, it is a breath of fresh air to read that these athletes who pour heart and soul and sweat and tears into their sport are human too, just like us, and not automatons that many critics would say about British cyclists that have come through their Olympic system. In my opinion, Between the Lines is almost the perfect autobiography. It came out at the right time at the end of Pendleton's career, not necessarily at the height that it did reach during its career. And I've read some autobiographies that have been written halfway through a career and they don't seem to have that typical rising and falling story arc, whereas Between the Lines definitely does. It encompasses Pendleton's career from a grass track racer all the way to the 2012 Olympics and her retirement. And yes, it's an autobiography and it's written in the first person, but unlike any other I think I've read, it's not like you're having the story told to you by Pendleton. It is almost as if you are seeing the world through her eyes and experiencing the same things that she's experiencing. So visceral is the pain that Pendleton exudes on the page of this book. The actual cycling itself seems to come second to all the emotion that she was feeling during her time on the British track program. So even if you're not a cyclist, I would highly recommend this one, especially to any sportswoman and anyone going through mental health issues. In an age where we're now saying, it's okay to not be okay, this book really reinforces that point that one of the most successful track riders, not just of her generation but ever, could fight those demons that she was having to contend with, by the sounds of it in this book, almost on a daily basis, and come out on top of her game and on top of the world. So I'd definitely recommend having Victoria Pendleton with Donald McRae, Between the Lines, the autobiography, on your bookshelf.